Going to talk about how to buy rental properties for low money down. And actually, what I want to do is share with you my experience on how I personally did that. Back in 1991, I decided that I wanted to buy rental properties and get a residual income or passive income of at least $5,000 within a year. And yes, it was ambitious, especially because I was 27 years old at the time and I didn't work. I had really not much credit. And and I had money, but my husband at the time did not want to invest their money into speculative type of real estate investing. So he's like, well, what you have been reading books, you've been studying on things. I'm sure you can come up with a way to do so. So I have read some books, and some of them was Robert Allen, Cartoon Sheets. He came up with one of the late night infomercials. Some of you might know back in '91, and I bought some of his courses, and I started devouring the information. And what I started doing is basically what really rang a bell to me was one of the strategies that Cartoon Sheets was talking about, which is basically calling up landlords. You would go through the Sunday paper. He has a video of him at the kitchen table, going through the Sunday paper because there was no internet back then, and circling up properties for rent. And he would call up these landlords and say, well, I see that you are, renting your house at whatever address. And I was wondering, I'm interested in the house, and I was wondering if you might be interested in selling it in the future or in the near future. And if I said yes, they would consider it. Then he would have a conversation, ask information about the property. And then he would say, well, I would love to rent it from you for a year, 2 years, whatever the case might be, and then buy it. So basically what he was doing, it was a lease option to buy, right? So that was one of the strategies. So I started doing with that. So I started doing the same thing, the Sunday paper, circling property and having the same conversation. But then one thing ran into another as I started going out there in the field and looking at properties that I was finding in the Sunday paper. Then I ran across for sale by owners as well. I ran across some banks that were getting rid of their REOs, and especially in the not the best parts of town, they're willing to finance almost 100%. So there was a combination of lease option to buy, owner financing, especially on property that needed quite a bit of work. I was able to get the owner to actually finance the property, and then I can do the work, and then I do what they call the BRRRR method nowadays: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat, right? And then I ran across banks that were willing to finance property, and that didn't matter to me. They were not the best parts of town because honestly, some of this property I got 100% financing, including the rehab cost. So it was one. So one of the things I say to you is this: do something, start with something, even if you have a lease option to buy that I did. And then as you start going out there and talking to people and go out in the field, one thing will bring you to another. You're going to come across opportunity. You're going to come across for sale by owners and banks and all kinds of different scenarios where you can think outside the box and strategically position yourself to get this property with very little to no money down. But it starts with something. Start with one thing, even if it's a lease option to buy. And then as you go out there, the opportunities will open up to you. It's a matter of start to get the wheel in motion, right? And that's what I did. And so to make a long story short, in about 18 months, I had over 40 doors, 16 properties, mainly multifamilies, anywhere from 2 units to 8 unit building. I had a couple of single families, but mainly were multi. And my net income was $8,000 to $10,000 a month. And I did this with very little to no money down. So hopefully the story inspire you to go out there and do something, create your own story as far as how you're going to buy rental property with low to no money. And trust me, stories like this happen every day. I had a student that she actually bought 21 houses in 11 months using the same strategies. So hopefully you get something good out of this and go out there and build your own empire. Take care.